Good morning, survivors. How you doing? Today we're going to talk about what the thing is that makes you jump when some loud noise happens. Sound weird? In case I forgot to mention, this is Angie. All right, let me try that again. Today we are going to talk about anxiety disorders and explain to you why sometimes you are so jumpy and you don't really think you should be. All right, let's get it. I noticed a weird thing the other day. I was hanging out with some friends, and one of them, he has this really loud clap. It sounds like it sounds really loud. And so sometimes when we're all hanging out together, he'll laugh, ha 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 ha, and he'll clap this really loud way. I notice every time he does, I jump. And every time, certain loud noises happen, I jump. And I've been doing this for years, but it got worse, after certain things happened. And so I wondered recently, why do I do that? Why am I so jumpy? Well, guess what, guys? It's a PTSD thing. So let's talk about it. So hypersensitivity to noise is a really broad term, okay? And it is broad because there are several different ways that you can be hypersensitive to noise and several different reasons. But today we're going to talk about how that relates to us in our narcissistic abuse recovery, okay? Obviously, everyone's different. Everyone's going to experience it differently. So your reaction could be on a broad spectrum, like I said. So I'm going to kind of go over, it could be anywhere from just a start reaction that just is sort of annoying to you to something that takes you way beyond that, okay? And we're going to talk about the different levels of that now and how they relate to your situation, okay? So you've got your first type of reaction is just like a startle, like I said, a startle reaction. And this is usually triggered by a sudden loud sound, such as, like I mentioned, the loud clap that I heard. If you think about soldiers who have PTSD, and you think about how, a car backfiring might cause them to have a trigger of their issue, with the PTSD, it could be a trigger. Someone who has been beaten might not like the sound of a loud clap. Maybe it sounds like being hit to them. Or someone who has been screamed at their whole life and finally gets away from it and starts to get clear might be triggered by someone screaming suddenly, or any kind of loud noise can trigger. But that's just one example. Let me give you a couple more, okay? So you might feel anxious after the event occurs. Like after the loud noise, you might feel anxious for a while and shaky for a while. You could even go so far as to have stress-related tension, because of the loud noise. It could continue out throughout your day, and also it could even lead to physical symptoms such as tension headaches, high blood pressure, etc., etc. It can literally kill you if you're not careful. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true. So there are ways you can deal with this so that you don't get any more effective than you've already been affected. So I'm going to give you a few tips for that before we close up today. So if it's only a particular type of noise that you're concerned about, you can go ahead and try this. This is a technique that some people use, okay? So, like, say if the loud clapping was the thing that bothered you, you might make a tape of that noise. And you might take some time to listen to it and hear it again and again. But I don't really think, for me, that that's the issue. I don't think it was the issue of it being a clap or a scream or a yell. It's just the sudden noise thing. And so I don't really know. I think in that case, anyway, let me get back to this. So you make a tape of the sound, and then you sit in a quiet place and you listen to the sound for a few minutes each day, and you're supposed to be able to help yourself relieve yourself of that kind of an anxious startle reaction that leads to all the other things, the stress and the physical complications and everything else. But with that being said, if that's not your issue, if your issue is simply that you start and then you feel a little bit anxious for a little while afterward, and it's not a particular noise, it's just the noise that, a sudden noise that bothers you, or a sudden loud noise that bothers you, then you can work on, general calming of your whole self, work on inner peace, work on techniques that help you slow down when that happens. I've taught you guys the 4 corners technique before, where you look at 4 corners of your screen, 1, 2, 3, 4, look at your little screen. Sorry about that. But you know what I'm saying. So you can do something to distract yourself from the feelings of anxiety during that time, and then you can usually get through it a little faster. So, thinking positive thoughts, having an affirmation, I'm powerful, I'm strong, and nothing scares me, whatever. I like the one from Frankenstein, Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. I am fearless, therefore I am powerful. Yes, please. I think mostly what you have to know is that you're not abnormal if you have that reaction. If someone taps you on the shoulder, I have this thing where if somebody taps me on the shoulder, it kind of makes me mad. I don't even know why. But, you know, you can change your mind is the point. So if somebody comes and taps me on the shoulder, I can choose to note that, okay, I feel a little bit annoyed by that, but it's just my kid asking me a question or whatever, so I need to settle down. So you have to have conscious thought about these things, is my point. If it bothers you when you have a moment of anxiety or stress or a startle reaction to a loud noise, you have to realize what's happening, and then you have to consciously choose to not allow it to happen. That is the only way that I have been successful with dealing with that stuff. Now, if you're dealing with like serious anxiety, and you're still in a situation where you need it, you know, go talk to your doctor. They can give you some help to get you over the hump. I think I told you guys the other day that I am, you know, when I left my narcissist, I took Prozac for 6 months, and it really helped me get through. Really helped me to get over the point of being devastated. And once I could get through that time where I didn't have to focus on all the negative emotions all the time, it really helped me to heal. And I'm not saying it's a permanent solution, and I'm not saying it's a solution for everybody, but what I am saying is that if you're a person who needs to get some help from your doctor to get through that difficult time in your life, there's nothing wrong with that. Even if you're a person who does need to take the meds for your whole life, there's nothing wrong with that. Don't allow anyone to shame you or make you feel bad for trying to help yourself. And sometimes you need a little help, okay? I'm not advocating drugs of any sort, prescription or otherwise, but what I am saying is, for me, it helped for, you know, to take something for a few months during my divorce time and the time that I was going through the end of that relationship and starting my new life. It was very scary. I was scared to death. I was a single mom. Life was hard. I had a baby. He was only 16 months old when I left, so who's 19 now. But so obviously I made it. But yeah, it's very, very hard. It's very hard. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to, you know, get some support. You can join SPAN, which is my free online support group for survivors. You can check that out at queenbeing.com/SPAN, or you can join any other support group. You can get yourself a therapist, get yourself a life coach. I'm a life coach, and I happen to know this particular topic pretty well. So you can learn more about that at narcissisticabuse-recovery.online. That'll be in the description for you. All right. Okay, I'm gonna wrap up for this morning. It's a beautiful Monday. A little chilly. Feels like hot weather. You might see me in a hat later. Never know. All right, guys. Have a great week. Have a great morning. Have a great day. I will see you later today for another video. And thank you, as always, for letting me be part of your life and part of your recovery today. If I was a fish, I look like this. If I was a fish, I'd look like this.